just to excuse me if I cough and sniff and splutter during this. I think it's a prerequisite to be a presenter and have the flu. So that, if anyone's had this flu that's been going around that you hang on to for over a month or so, it's a killer, isn't it? So just to excuse me if I cough and sputter and all the way through this. All right, so I'm going to start talking, and Maggie's going to come up and join me about halfway through as we start talking. So, welcome to our house. This is a place where we can share our experiences, our frustrations, as well as our achievements and our wisdom. We're all here because in some way or another we experience behaviour at times that can challenge us. Our house is a welcoming community where families can not only share our experiences, but we're here to empower each other, share our wisdom, but most importantly, it's about sharing our hope for the future. So our house is about families. What a great way to get together, guys. What a great way to get together and discuss all the things that we don't necessarily know the answer to. Because really, if we did know the answer to all this stuff about challenging behaviour, really, would we be here? We wouldn't, would we? I know that as a parent, I sure as heck would like to have somebody around me at times to tell me what to do in terms of my own parenting at home at times. You know those times, like you're in the shopping centre and you've got the little kids having a tantrum over wanting something in the shop. You know those times? And you're walking along like this, pretending they're not really there. I'm not really doing it. This is about the, I don't know what they're up to. All that time that you, and I've experienced this too, you want to get them in that bear hug, get the hell out of that shopping centre before they break something or you break something as well. So let me just remind you what it's like.
When you feel the first signs of a cold, use Vicks First Defense. It's a new microgel that attacks the cold virus before it has a chance to turn nasty. New Vicks First Defense.
Now, I'm sure we all feel like that sometimes, don't we? Wish we could do that sometimes. All right. Now, I'm sure we've all had our experiences of life where somebody's challenging us or we're challenging ourselves. Like having property damaged, doors kicked in, endless nights of no sleep. A few nods in the room. Kicking, screaming, hitting. As well as those times where our kids are thinking, Mum and Dad, they've definitely lost it. We need to get new ones of those as well. Well, that definitely describes my family. I don't know if that describes yours. It definitely describes my family. And just when I thought things were getting easier, my kids turn into teenagers. And teenagers, it's a whole new ball game really, isn't it? All right, so let's reflect on that we all lose control sometimes, don't we?
Hey, I got the beer.
What is that? What is that? I said Budweiser. That's Pilsner. That's garbage. No! I said I wanted Budweiser.
Big deal.
I hate them. Why do you do this to me all the time? I just wanted Budweiser. I hate 6-month evaluation.
Yes.
And the references here from your department head are outstanding.
Well, thank you.
Everything just looks really great. You've been a fantastic asset to this company. Unfortunately, we don't have it in the budget to go ahead with this promotion at this time. So we're going to have to just put this on hold for a couple months.
No, but you said
I know. We had.
But you pretty much said it was.
We had a tough quarter. We had a tough quarter, and
I don't care about your tough quarter. You told me that I pretty much had this promotion.
Yes.
I've been shopping and I've been preparing for it. Like what? I don't understand.
Like I said, the promotion is still in the works. We just have to bump it back to the next quarter, okay?
But you said that I could get the promotion. You said that I was a perfect candidate. You said my resume was perfect. You said that everything was perfect.
But the company's financial situation is not perfect, and that's the problem. We think you're doing a great job. We think you're fantastic at this company, and we don't know where we'd be without you. But okay. Maybe we should reschedule it.
You told me. You said I wanted this promotion.
I understand. Yes. Okay. Stop it. Stop. Okay.
It's funny, isn't it? But seriously, sometimes for some people, that's what it can be like in terms of feeling out of control. Feeling out of control, particularly if your choices are not heard, if you've got nobody to talk to, if you're feeling confused and anxious, or in that last example, when your expectations are not being met. Thank you. Alright, but seriously, we're all here because we want to talk about what it's like as a family, and what it's like as individuals to experience challenging behaviour at times. What it's like for you, and what it's like for the person that you're supporting, but also what it's like for you as a parent, a carer, a friend, a partner. It's really hard, isn't it? And we want it to stop. We want things to change. Because that's really what we're supposed to do, isn't it? We're supposed to fix it. We're supposed to make things stop. Certainly, it's often what we're told. It's often, as parents, you know, we're surrounded by individuals, sometimes professional, well-meaning professionals, that, you know, tell us that that's what needs to happen. This is what you're supposed to do, that things are supposed to stop. It's what we're told, it's what we're taught, it's what behaviour management has often directed us to focus on, is the behaviour itself. And let's not forget the expectation of other people. That's the biggest one, really, isn't it? If I don't fix it as a parent, will it reflect badly on me in terms of what I'm doing? I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, found myself in the emergency department with one of my kids. Generally, I do have one child who does challenge me at times, particularly, and this is not that child. So he went to the hospital, emergency room. Now, he was not going to allow them to put that IV needle anywhere near him, now was he? So, the rest of the ward knew about that, of course, didn't they? So off to the secure room we went. Now, was I about to tell them right there and then what I did for a job? Hell no. Absolutely not. Because that was just about getting out of there as fast as we could, as unscathed as we can. Because really that's the important thing. It's back to my point. Too often in our struggle to try and fix the behaviour or stop it, we sometimes don't give ourselves permission to take a step back and really look at the problem. Look at what's going on for them as an individual and what's going on for us as parents. Why do they actually have a need to do this? We get caught up in our emotions, we get caught up in the moment, we get caught up with trying to get through this, that we want to fix it right now. Sometimes we can't see the ocean through the trees. We need to give ourselves permission to stop and breathe. Permission to get to know the person that we're supporting, what it is that's happening for them, and permission to get to know us, ourselves. Permission to get to know me. What is it that I need? And when we try to when we stop trying to fix the behaviour, we can start to look at why the behaviour may be occurring in the first place. How is it that we can understand the person, what it is that they're actually trying to tell us? Actually, what is the message? What is the message that they're trying to tell us in the first place? What are they fearful of? What do they need? Why do they feel out of control? What has made this situation hard for them? If they were to use different words, which is really important, what would they be saying? So if they weren't doing it this way, and they were saying it in a different way, can we hear them more clearly that way? Thinking about that way. Are they saying, I'm lonely, I'm scared, this is really hard, I'm confused, I'm anxious, I'm feeling out of control, it hurts? What actually is the message that they're actually trying to say? So let's just do that. Let's take a moment to breathe. Let's clear our mind and to be open to new ways of thinking and new possibilities. So we're going to do that. So let's all stand up. We're going to do a breathing. Maybe you're going to come and help me. Do excuse me, I'm not going to partake because I do have a bit of an injury, so Maggie's going to be my arm. So, now that we're standing, let's just place our hands on our tummy. And we just relax. So just relax and just breathe for a moment. Let's take a moment to pause. Noticing the feel of your hand on your tummy as you breathe. Notice your breath as you breathe in. Notice the feel of your hand rising. Slowly take a breath in, then slowly out. You might imagine your hand being a boat gently rocked on a wave. Up and down, up and down. Now place your hands by your sides, continuing to gently belly breathe. Slowly in and slowly out. Slowly raise your arms above your head and hold them there as you inhale. Then lower your arms as you exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Oh gosh, I just hit someone next to me. Raise your arms again, holding them above your head. Hope you all put deodorant on today. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Crap, I hit them again. Okay, let's put our hands on our belly again and just relax. Let's just breathe for a minute. Okay, let's sit down, relaxed, focused, ready for the journey ahead of us over the next couple of days. Behaviour is not often an intentional act to cause pain, emotional hurt or harm. It really isn't. It comes from our own needs but not being met. It comes from that person trying to tell us something. They're trying to communicate that something's either going wrong or they've got unmet needs. Sure, challenging behaviour is a significant way of telling us something. It really is. But sometimes it's the only way. It's the only way for that person's message to be heard. Or sometimes it's the only way that other people listen. Or sometimes they're so frightened or feeling out of control that it's the only way that they can get their message across as well. So when I often try to think about this too in terms of what about us? You know, if you don't have a disability, you may not engage in challenging behaviour. However, when you're feeling really highly stressed and anxious and out of control, how well do we manage our own behaviour? It's really hard. It's hard to manage your own behaviour when you're feeling out of control. And what about me? How do we as parents, partners, carers, friends, sit with the discomfort of not knowing how to fix this problem right here and now, as well as what is it that we need in terms of building our own capacity to manage day by day as well? Who here has these thoughts at times? Can't believe he did that. He can't get away with that. That's so disrespectful. It's manipulative. I have to get on top of this now to stop it from keep on happening in the future. And what about this one? Wait for it. If you do that again, I will. I think we all probably have those thoughts going through our minds at times. That's natural. That's a part of being a parent. And it's actually okay. Those thoughts are fine. What it is that we need to think about what those thoughts lead us to think about, though. They're fine. It's part of a natural part of parenting. However, what those thoughts do is they tend to get us to focus on the behaviour itself, to try and stop the behaviour itself. So what about if we try and think about behaviour in a different way? How do we sit through the discomfort of not having the solution right here and now, not being able to fix it right now? And how do we get through this immediate crisis as unscathed as we can and then think about what to do? We didn't solve that needle problem, unfortunately. We left the hospital. But now, obviously, we've got work to do around a needle phobia. How do we see past the behaviour to see what's actually happening for the person? So, for example, the child who asks incessant questions all day long. Do we try and stop the questions? Or do we start to try and understand and work out why that person has a need to ask lots of questions? Is it part of their personality that they're really sociable and they're just trying to connect with somebody and keep them going in a conversation? Is it because their family is so busy in the morning routine, getting ready for school, that they just don't have they're trying to get that burst of interaction because the interaction's really decreased because everyone's so busy? What is it that's actually going on? What's the reason behind what that person's doing? Or the child who hits his sister every morning when he gets ready for school. Do we try and stop the hitting or try to understand what's driving them to hit their sister? Or is it to get that burst of interaction because everyone's just so busy doing their own thing? Or is it because his sister is getting in his personal space and that frightens him? Or the man who swears at support workers when they come to his door each day, come and support him. Do we stop visiting and avoid interacting with him because it's not appropriate? Or do we try to understand how he perceives those social relationships based on his history of interactions with other people? How does he make sense of those social relationships and what supports are available that help him make sense of those social relationships? Does he know who's coming when they're coming? What to expect from those interactions and those social relationships when they're there? How do we understand that? So let's explore this some more in terms of family context.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm mum to 4 amazing children. I've been told that special needs parents are the equivalent of Batman, Captain America, and the Incredible Hulk, combined with the side of Mary Poppins. I like to think of myself as Wonder Woman, not the superhero, but I wonder if I could do this better. I wonder if I should allow that. I wonder if that's acceptable. And I wonder if it's bedtime yet. My son was diagnosed with autism when he was 2 years old. He is now 11. It is not his diagnosis, but rather his challenging behaviour that sets us apart from other families. It affects all of us. Myself, my husband, each one of our children, our family networks, as well as our friendships, school relationships, and even the wider community. Yes, it affects everyone. So how did we think about challenging behaviour? Initially, for our family, it was all about information. I had to know everything I could about autism. Knowledge is empowering, but it is not everything. I gained valuable information and I went to workshops about sensory regulation, courses about communication, but there had to be supports in place. Supports for me as the adult trying to support my child. I needed the people around me to understand and to help me make it better for my son and my other children. With 4 children, life is a balancing act. With 4 children and 1 with special needs, life is a roller coaster. I could say 5, but my husband's here and I'm trying to be nice to him. I have to meet everyone's needs, including my husband's and my own. Seriously, there are still only 24 hours in a day. It is great having knowledge, but you need to be supported so that you can implement it. By support, I mean peer support as well as support from the system. Knowing where to access... No! Knowing where to access help. Who to ask, what to ask. Sometimes you do not know what to ask for. How do you find the questions when you have no idea what will help? How do you ask for help? I don't know all the answers. But I do know that family leadership is an important factor. I lead, you lead, we all lead. Everyone's journey is different, but we all have the same goal. We need to understand the reasons for the behaviour and then go from there. It is about understanding the environment, not the behaviour, and moulding it so that it suits the family and the individuals within the family. Surrounding yourself with people who have lived experience and who just get it, know what you're going through, can empathise with your circumstances, offer assistance when needed, mutual respect and friendship. That is peer support. Peer support has been incredibly meaningful to me and has had a very positive effect on our family. How do we think about challenging behaviour now? We need to look at the big picture. Mould the environment, support the person, and remember to breathe. Some days are more challenging than others, but I like to think that the great days outweigh the not so great ones. We all need a little help, even the superhero families. And you know what? I'm still Wonder Woman anyway. I wonder if I could support another family. I wonder if I share my story, will it resonate with others? I wonder if I could do something for myself. I wonder what's for morning tea. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. I have told you that I have 4 children, and I also have told you that it affects all of us. My daughter, who is 9, wrote a letter to her class about her brother. She wrote it for Autism Awareness Day in April this year, and I didn't even know she was doing it. She did it all on her own. It's about what it's like for her having a brother with a disability. I think as parents, we often feel guilty about the amount of attention required for each of our children, especially our special needs children, and how we can divide our time equally. We worry about the impact of the siblings. We worry about how it will affect them in the long term. We wonder if they will have a typical childhood because of the differences they've had to make living with a person with a disability. We worry about their own mental health. Emily is 18 months younger than Jamie. This is her reflection, and I've asked her permission to share it with you today.
Hello, my name is Emily and I have a brother with autism. His name is Jamie. Jamie is 11 years old and he is very important to me. He also stops me doing things. Stops me doing things like having friends over, doing normal daily things and staying at places for too long. Jamie goes to a special school called Malibu in Rockingham. It's a school with people. Who have special needs like Jamie. Today we wear the colour blue to tell the community about autism and people like Jamie. Do you know the smartest person in the world had autism and is still living? What is autism? Do you know? Well, autism is a lifelong development condition that affects, among other things, the way an individual relates to his or her environment and their reaction with other people. It's true. I love Jamie so much. Jamie can ride horses and bond with them. Most people with autism have special bonds with animals. Jamie has lots of teddies, his own iPad, and spends so much time on it. He likes to watch Disney and DreamWorks. I almost know all the actors in the movies and voices. Some people don't understand what it's like to have autism or live with someone who has autism. We should respect them and these problems. My mum speaks about autism in large crowds to people. How she has a son with autism. I love Jamie and all the people with autism.
The only thing I would change about her letters, she says the word problem, I would change that to challenges. But what an amazing insight from a 9-year-old. It just shows us that his disability is just one aspect, and that who makes him who he is. She can see past his behaviour. She sees him. What do you hope to get out of this conference? I'm hoping that you get a few superpowers for yourself. Some strategies, connecting with other families, and lots of hope.
So together we don't have to have all the answers, and we don't have to know how to control the situation all the time, but together we can explore. How do we see through the behaviour to start to see what's actually happening for that person? And how do we get to know the person we support? What is it they're telling us? What is it they need? And what it is that needs to change in their environment to better meet those needs? And how do I get to know me? How do I get to know me as a parent? What is it that I need to support me? And what is it that I need to support me to be able to support you? Welcome to the conference, and enjoy the rest of our journey together.